Hi, this is Ben Proco with the Brick House Duathlon, Triathlon, and Adventure Race. This video is going to focus on the triathlon and duathlon, but if you're doing the adventure race, there could be some helpful tips for you, just how everything is going to be laid out as far as parking, and then some ideas. You might have some things come up on the course that might be able to help you out. So, all right, let's go and get started. Parking. It's at Magnolia Hill Ranch. You'll go down a little ways and we'll direct you into the parking into this field. No cars will be allowed past this point unless you're like if you're doing the adventure race and you have to drop your boat off, you'll be able to go up here and drop that off and then come back and park. So you're not having to drag your boat up there the whole way. If you have any, you probably should, none of the athletes should be arriving at 8 or later, but if anyone arrives after 8, this area is going to be closed down because this is part of the bike course, and you'd have to park back here and walk in, which is a little bit over a mile if you're doing that. So I'd recommend any of your spectator friends, if they're coming, to get here by 8 o'clock before we close that down. And that's just for the safety of the athletes, and this is mainly for the Sunday race here. Saturday, the adventure race kind of won't have any problems with that. All right, race schedule. You can see all this stuff online. We got our first packet pickup on Friday, and Saturday is the adventure race, and pre-riding and packet pickup for the try and do from noon to 4 that day. And then the race day schedule for the try and duathlon is very similar to the adventure race. Then we have 2 wave starts. The first wave will be at 8:30 with all the males for the try, and then we're going to put a 10-minute gap for the females, just to give you a little bit clearer course. It should just make it a better race for everyone, and 5 minutes versus 10, that's really not much more to wait. But again, I want to make sure everyone has as fair a race as possible. And then the awards, our goal is, we always put tentatively, but 10:30 we'd hopefully be able to start some sort of awards. We'll also allow, if we have official results and you need to grab and go, we can do that too. But if you want those pictures with everyone else up on the podium, we'll go through a quick ceremony for you. Here's a little bit of a zoom in layout. You can see the starting staging area. Swim goes out and coming back through transition, bike course. And all these maps are online, so you can see this on our one of the tabs that say course maps. So if you want to get a little bit better idea, especially race day, this is the bike kind of heading out, and then you're out there for 4 or 5 miles, and then this would be coming back. And then to run, you just make a left turn here to finish. Unless you're the duathlon, you'll be on the first run, you'll go around to come in that way. All right, so here's a little bit closer zoom. Your bike course is 2 laps, so to start your second lap, you'll just veer off to the left. Bike finish, you'll have the right. Look for the mount and dismount lines. There'll be a line here saying like, hey, you got to get off by here. Just make sure you get off by that point so we don't have to give anyone any penalties. And again, here you can see the first duathlon run, because I think we have right now about 20 people in the duathlon, which is a good number for this race. They're coming around this way, which is also the swim in, and then your run out will be this way. If you saw on this previous screen, there's a section of the run that's a little out and back, and you'll be able to see that, and that's what this is. You're heading out not quite a quarter mile and then coming back, and that was just to help us get that 3 miles in for you, and I think you'll really like it. I'll show you when we get to the run course. So swim, again, all races are going to start in this area. Swim will be starting here, and then the duathlon will probably start just a little bit closer this way. And I'll get to the duathlon first run here in just a second. Sprint races are just doing 1 lap, and that's all we have this year. last year we had a 3-hour race, and our first year we had a 5-hour race, which was kind of neat because you'd do a swim and then you'd alternate bike run, bike run, bike run, and until 3 hours or 5 hours was up. And that's kind of where our name came from, the brick house, because when you put two workouts together, like a swim and a bike or a bike and a run, it's called a brick. So I was just kind of like, oh, we're just layering bricks. So that's where the name Brick House came from, even though we don't really have that format this year. Hopefully sometime it can come back. But this year we decided to leave that format out, with us being part of the gravel race series. Bike course. I'm gonna go a little bit more in detail on this because this is a gravel try, but there are some spots to just be aware of. And really the most technical stuff is right at the very beginning. So right when you hop on your bike and you start heading down, right here there's a little bit of a left turn. You kind of want to stay to your right, but it's going downhill, and there's some spots, especially since we haven't had much rain, that are pretty sandy. So you just want to keep your eye out there. This whole course is very wide. You can pretty much pass at any time. There's hardly anything I would even classify. It would be like barely single track for anything. So it's a pretty wide open course, hence why it's as a gravel race. Get to go up the driveway, nice steep driveway, and then here's all kind of downhill, nice and fast. Gets a little bit sandy in here. They cleared this, they made it much wider, which is awesome, but again, with a lack of rain, it has got a little bit looser. I would recommend a mountain bike's going to be great for this course, or a gravel bike, and if you have an option of tires, I would go with something a little bit wider. You head out here kind of through the center of that parking lot. Everyone's going to be parked to the side, kind of over this way a little bit more so. And then onto the driveway. We'll send you back this way. And this is all kind of, packed down, nice, just hard, grass, dirt area. And then this was one spot right here. This little turn is pretty sandy, and you get to see it on the way out. It's not bad, but it's a little bit sharper left turn, and it'll be sandy, so just watch there. Again, we got some rain, so hopefully that packed it down. This course is definitely going to be faster than what it was for our clinic just a couple days ago. And then this, while it is the windy section, it's kind of uphill, so you're really not able to go too crazy fast through here to begin with. That's why this course, it plays out much better to go this way than the other way. If you were to go downhill through this, it definitely would be technical, but going this way, not really a big deal at all. Here will probably be some of your fastest sections. If you're on a mountain bike, you'll probably come close to maxing out your gears along this backside here. It just seems like it all goes downhill, this whole section. And then you just send around here, and this is one of the only spots where the cones are going to be to your right. For everything else on the bike, the cones will be to your left, but on this particular section where you're sharing the course with the runners, the cones will be to your right. And then just make sure to keep your eyes open here. It seems like I always get one year, and I put tons of signs saying the bike goes to the left and it runs to the right, but I always seem to get at least one bike that's going along here on what would be the run course as opposed to the bike course. So just make sure you're keeping your eyes open there, and you hop up here, and then you either have your second lap or you're going into the finish. So some things about off-road bike rules and etiquette. Off-road, which gravel is off-road, does not have a drafting rule or no drafting rule, which means you can draft someone. Now, there's not really many spots where it would probably benefit you. There are a few you could get a slight draft on some of the longer straightaways, but it's still going to be probably of little benefit. And then also, if someone is, there's still the rule of abandoning your race. So you can't just decide like, hey, I'm just going to sit with my friend, he's a good runner, and I'm going to let him ride behind me the whole time so he can have a great run and he'll draft the whole bike. You can't do that. That's not in the spirit of the competition, and that's called abandoning your race. But I say if someone's your level and you're, just kind of sitting back behind him, going back and forth a little bit, that's actually completely legal for this race. So again, I don't see it's probably not much. I've been out here on this course. I can say it's probably not much of a benefit. Probably more of a mental benefit than actually a physical benefit. But I'm also putting that out there for those, if you do see it on this particular race, it is not against the rules. But again, it's not going to have like a great benefit at the same time either. But there will be some small benefits. You can also pass on either side. So while it doesn't really have to happen, it is beneficial to let a rider know, hey, I'm passing on your left, passing on your right, because it could be either side here, or passing on the inside, passing on the outside. Maybe you're coming up to a turn. Just let the person know. Again, letting them know you're passing isn't really a rule, but again, since it, especially with this race, since it is possible to pass on either side, just keep that in mind. I know some of the top end racers really won't call things out, and I totally get why, because they don't want them to hop on your wheel and get a little bit of a draft. And that's a whole different situation here. So again, just be smart, keep yourself safe, and keep the other riders safe around you. And again, that kind of goes the next bullet there, communicating. Just if you can, let them know what side you're coming on. It'll keep both of you safer, because that person might be riding and they decide, oh, there's a bump, and they all of a sudden move to the left. That's more common in off-road racing than a road try where you got to ride to the right, pass on the left. Here, you're looking for the best line each time, and if someone doesn't know that you're behind them, they can't make the adjustments. And most people are pretty good. If you let them know, like, hey, coming up on your left, and it especially happens when one wave catches the other. So if wave 2 starts catching wave 1, just let them know. Like, it'll make the race better for everyone there. Again, let someone make sure if someone does call out that they're ready to pass, that you do let them go by, and just be smart. Use good judgment. It's not going to make or break anything on here with being able to pass someone quickly or doing something. So just be smart. You got a long race here. The bike's only the second leg. All right, the 3-mile run course. So I say my terrible drawing here, because after I did, I measured the course and I was like, oh, I need to get a little bit more, so I went and measured this, but it's a separate file. You're gonna head out, and right about where this trail comes up here is right the point where you need to turn. So we're actually planning on putting like a water table there that could serve as a dual purpose, to give water to those coming up from back behind here, but also help let people know where the U-turn is. So you go out and you'll head back, which I really like, because one, this is one of the few flat sections along here, but also you can kind of gauge to see where your competition is. If it's me racing, it's me making a U-turn and worrying about who's behind me, who's going to catch me. Some people, it works out the other way, where they get to see who they're going to chase down. But me, I know I'd be making this U-turn and just hoping that everyone else here isn't going to catch me, which they probably would the way I'm running right now. But nice flat out and back here, and then you duck into some of our more technical trails. If you've ever done the Xterra that's out here in July, this is actually part of their mountain bike course that you're going to be running on, and you'll get to see how it's much more technical going through here. You got about a mile of this. Nice thing is it's really, not that it's supposed to be warm, but it's really nice and shaded, and we'll have it marked for you, so there'll be no problems following the trail. And then right around here, you start trending up, and you're going to trend up all the way up, 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 up. Then it kind of levels off for a little bit more here, and then it keeps on going up all the way until you get around here. So you're going to climb up almost about 100 feet in elevation in that second mile. And Well, we're planning to also have a water station here, so you have 2 water stations out there. Come along here, get to run along the shoreline. I always think this is really cool. I love running along here. Then a little turn to the left. You'll get to see some probably hear some choice words with some people going up here. It's a nice little steep incline. And then here's where you're going to share the course with a run. This is a super wide area. Runners, you'll just stay to the right of the cones, or keep the cones to your left, stay to the right, and the bikes will be on the other side. We've been using this course for like 5 years now, and not even had one issue on this. So it's kind of a little bit trending uphill, so the bikes aren't like flying through there. And then here's where you just make sure you just stay to the right. I've never really had an issue of a runner going off on the bike course, but run along the shoreline. Some people, I put the cones so you can kind of either run just a little bit on just to the left, it's a little bit of grass, and just to the right, it's a little bit of sand. Kind of just choose what terrain between those two. Just stay about within 5-10 feet of the cones where they're placed. And then you make the left turn up to the finish. And that's your 3-mile run course. Duathlon. Your first run is only going to be 2 miles, and what we're doing is we're taking out this little technical, the out and back, and then this section here. So you're just going to be going out and around, which is also our normal, our duathlon we put on in February. That's the course we use because we do 2-mile run on either side of it. And then you'll just head around to transition. So the big thing is you just go straight on around. And again, we'll be able to help direct you, get you on course there, and you'll have that water station should you need it there. All right, that wraps up most of what we have here. We've had lots of great sponsors and people just kind of hopping in and helping out where they can. One of our big ones this year was TDH IT Services. Check them out. We got a link on our website. Really great stuff that they offer. They were our T-shirt sponsoring one of our biggest sponsors this year. And we have lots of other great ones like Bike Minded, Justin Zeiser does some great stuff, Hammer Nutrition. They usually don't provide things for sprint tries, but we have a really good relationship with them, so they provide some stuff for us. Tejas Trails, Strive Marketing, Natural Care, Bayou City, Ron and his races always help out. Another race is Wade with the Huntsville Hammer. That's a great event. So again, check out some of the sponsors. It helps alleviate some of our costs, and as much as I know the cost of registration just is rising all the time, but it helps us at least subdue and keep down some of those costs, whereas if we didn't have anything at all. So thanks for joining me. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing every one of you on a race day, whether that's Saturday, Sunday. All right, take care.